From there, I'm on a mission. Paranoid. I get a phone call off Turner, Pancake, Glover and Spiff. Where are you, lad? They come and pick me up from the Royal. I'm out, I go to where I need to be, get me things, and I'm active. I'm sitting there with a thing on me in the middle of town, floating through town, getting stoned with a thing on me, not giving a Saturday night time, response everywhere, just not giving a So, paranoid to death. I'm now in my gaff. I've got a gaff on the Dock Road by Jaguar House, by Green's Gym, where young Liam Kelly got shot. Just below that street, there's a block of flats. I had an apartment in there. So I'm in there now, sleeping with two things, one by the bed and one by the door, just in case. You know, that type of activity. It's all real. Got on, had a phone call off Willie Moore, saying there's the driver of the car. David Regan. So David Regan becomes a target. I don't want to go into that story because I don't want to offend his family. I've said enough about that story with David Regan on why I went to prison for 18 years and so on and so forth. I had 5 co-accused on that case. I was the only one found guilty. Everyone else was acquitted. Everyone. The only evidence in that trial was from a woman called Nicola Curry. Nicola Curry had been the side piece to William Moore for over 15 years. Nicola Curry made statement upon statement upon statement that was not true in her efforts to get me placed in custody. And her efforts to get me placed in custody worked. I was placed in custody. And that's what happens. So when you're getting people calling me a snitch, there was people arrested for the murder of Craig Barker. 3 individuals was arrested. William Moore, John Moore, and Darren Waterhouse. Darren Waterhouse was an acclaimed soldier, one of the best. Darren Waterhouse was a Goldstream guard. Do you know what one of them is? When you're outside Buckingham Palace or any royal residence, you will see a Goldstream guard. They stand there with a red top on and a gun and a big fairy hat. That's what Darren Waterhouse was. Darren Waterhouse was awarded the Military Cross for getting his troops out of Bosnia in the Bosnian War. Darren Waterhouse knelt in front of the Queen of this country, a respectable soldier, representing the armed forces to the fullest, one of the best soldiers you could get out there amongst the rest. It's very difficult to get a military cross off the Queen. Trust me. He and them 2 other people conspired to kill me. They came into the city of Liverpool to get me shot dead because no one else would do it. I'd been getting phone calls off kids from Manchester who had done jail with. I'd been getting phone calls off people from different parts of the country saying these kids are trying to get you took out here, la. No one's getting involved. That's where it was. So they had to go further afield. And they went to this Waterhouse who was from Luton, just outside London. And Luton met William Moore when William Moore was doing his 12 years for taking heroin to Birmingham. Waterhouse had gone too far and brought 2 kilograms of cocaine home from wherever he was placed at war. He was dismissed from the army and placed in prison. Whilst he was placed in prison, he met William Moore. When William Moore's got out of prison, he's recruited Waterhouse to do this murder on me. And it happens all the time, people. It's not just this. That's a brutal episode in the city of Liverpool. There's loads of young men where old men are trying to get them shot dead because the young men have been cheeky. And the majority of the young men who you're seeing shot dead in the city of Liverpool, it might be young men shooting them. It might be young men firing the firearm towards the victim. But the person that's put that shooter in place and the person that's paying that shooter to do the deed is older, maturer, and didn't like being disrespected by a young lad. And that's what's going on today. People are getting disrespected and getting people shot dead for it. Why? Because they've got money. They've got a status as a drug dealer. The power goes to the head, and they start taking the law into their own hands and wasting little kids. It doesn't matter if he's 21 years old and he's got 3 kids. If he's being disrespectful to this firm, he's getting shot dead. If you think that's a good way to have people living in your city, if you think that's a good way to show the youth, if you think that dealers are good, iconic individuals to steer your kids in the right direction, you've got it all wrong. Yeah, I might be a naughty criminal back in the day. I might have been this big notorious gangster back in the day. I'm still harassed by Merseyside Police and Liverpool Echo. There's not a month goes past where the G name's not mentioned by a pair of rats somewhere. It doesn't matter to me. I have been through, since the age of 12, from being nonced to being incarcerated as a youth, to being incarcerated as a teenager, to being incarcerated as an adult. I haven't got no millions. I haven't got no big gang around me. What I've got is a voice and experience, and I'm sharing it as much as I can. And the reason I share it, the reason I take this hate, it's not to gain financial wealth. Look at me. I've been living in a 6-bedroom for the past 4 years. I've moved five or six times in the past 4 years. 2 years, I've moved 6 times. This is what comes with me and what I say. This is what happens when I'm trying to make you aware of not to do. Don't get involved in, because trust me, it's short-term benefit. There's no long-term benefits in it. You may think there is, but the more you're in it, the more possibility you're getting double figures. There's more possibilities of your bird getting banged by the next drug dealer, because that's what you do. Each other's birds, you'll probably each other's daughters if they were old enough. That's how dirty and dying scum yous are. You've got no loyalty amongst dealers. You've got no trust amongst dealers. There's none of them morals in place there. They might say they've got your back at 100%, but the minute you pull that trigger for that rat, the minute you get placed in jail for that shooting, he ceases contact. Friendship, he doesn't want to go to jail himself, so he doesn't contact you in case the police or the authorities manage to link you together. So you're just off by the kid you've just ran round for, thinking you're John Wayne. You're all running round doing rats' dirty work instead of minding your own business. And that's what it's about these days. You need to start minding your own business. Keep your own identity intact. Don't let no one your identity. Don't start dressing like that dickhead. Don't start trying to be like that dickhead. Remain yourself. You'll become better and you'll become more powerful if you remain yourself in today's society. It's rare. It's hard to do. But if you do it, you'll become more powerful. Ignore the external wealth. That'll follow. Why? Because if you remain yourself, be true to yourself, you start growing inside. You start gaining inner wealth. You start getting morals. Your conduct gets better. And once you've got all that in place, once you're controlling these emotions of anger and depression and frustration and whatever, the external wealth attracts to you. Why? Because you're doing it right. You might be drug dealing and all that money's coming at you fast, but you lose it in an hour court session. A lot of it. You can be grafting for 10, 15 years. It doesn't matter. You might have went legit 20 years ago, but the first 10 years you were dirty. They'll take them lot right off you.